Welcome back, dear students, to the fourth session on JDBC process, Java database connectivity. JDBC process has 5 steps, as we mentioned in the previous session. The first one is loading the JDBC driver or registering the driver class. Both are same. That is the first step. Second step is creating a connection, and third step is creating a statement object, and the fourth step is executing the query and processing the results, and the fifth step is closing the connection. Among these 5 steps, two steps we explained in the previous session. The creation of the statement objects in order to carry your queries to the database, and also to take the results from the database. So those things can achieve by creating the statement objects. So with respect to the statements, there are 3 types of statement objects. One is a statement, and the other one is a callable statement, and the other one is a prepared statement. Each one of these statements has its own unique features to carry out the operations with the DBMS. And each one of the statement has a different set of library functions in how to send and execute the queries, and also to see the result from the DBMS. So in this session, we'll be focusing on the statement object and its operations, what are the library functions, what is the syntax of it, and what exactly we are doing, and what is the use of it. We'll discuss it one by one. We'll share the presentation slides. Okay. Creating a statement object. So why we need to have a statement object is, once you get once your connection gets created and your driver manager dot get connection method returns the connection object. Through that connection object, you should have some sort of carrier to take your queries to the DBMS. So that carrier is nothing but the statement object. So either it can be a statement object, or it can be a prepared statement, or it can be a callable statement object. So you are doing the connection, loading the driver and connection, and with respect to the query execution, we have a couple of statements. So create a statement and query the database. So in order to carry your queries, statements are required, and it can execute in the database, and it can fetch the results back. And after that, you can process the results and close the connection. And of course, this the figure shows one of the steps of your 5-step process of the JDBC process. Okay, as I mentioned, once the connection gets established, it is used to pass the SQL statements to its underlying database. So it acts as a carrier to take your queries to the database. A statement object is used to send the SQL statements that is written in the form of a string, and that is included as a part of the library functions. It will take and will be given to the DBMS for its execution, and also it gets the results. And here, JDBC application programming interface doesn't put any restriction on the kinds of SQL statements that you are sending. I mean, you can send as many as the queries you can send if the data is available in the DBMS, and also you can process the results. And DBMS software, it will not restrict for such sort of instructions to be received, but only it expects the authorizations in order to send the queries to the DBMS. Yeah. Next, how do we create the statement object? So you have a one communication path between your Java program and the DBMS. So that is nothing but a connection object. Through the connection object, we can make a call to the create statement built-in function. The job of this create statement method of a connection interface, what we have done before in the previous step, and it returns the what statement object. And this statement object is responsible for executing the queries with the database. So what we do is the syntax of this create statement method will be like this: public statement. So always return type of this is it returns a statement object. The name of the method is a create statement, and always it throws the SQL exception. It means if you're trying to create a statement for the non-existing connection, which leads to the SQL exception. And connection, con is your variable name, con dot the create statement, and returns the statement object. So that is assigned to the reference variable stmt. From this statement, you can execute the queries now. So that is your fourth step. The fourth step, you can use the execute query method, which takes your queries to the DBMS and it will executes and which produces the results. And execute query method syntax will be like this. Always remember, execute query method returns a result set object. Result set object always it has a which has a data in it in the form of a tabular form for the select kind of query. For example, select star from a student or select star from employee. For all the attributes, the content is created in the form of a result set object. That result set object you can iterate and you can parse it in order to access each of the elements. So always what you should do is you should give a query that you wanted to execute. You should pass it as an argument to the execute query method, and this execute query method returns the SQL exception. The reason is if you are trying to execute the query which is not at all available, which leads to the SQL exception. And if the table itself it is not available on the database, so which leads to the SQL exception. Any invalid operations with the database which leads to the SQL exception. So how do you use in a programming, that is the fourth step of your DDBC process, STMT, that is a statement object that you have created in the step 3, statement dot execute query of, and you are writing the query in the form of a string. Within a pair of double quote marks, you are writing the query as select star from employee, and which results the uh, execution of the query in the DBMS, and your DBMS returns the results to the caller. I mean, the meaning of this query is to return all the rows of a table employee, and your DBMS gives the results. And how exactly the DBMS gives the results is it is in the form of a result set object. This result set object is a predefined class in JDBC process. So always you remember a return type of execute query method will be in the form of a result set object. This result set object you can scroll and you can fetch each of the data or each of the rows and a column of this result set object using the iteration. So before this is very important and careful step to be done. Before processing all the rows of your table or result set object, what you retrieve or what you obtain from as a result of execute query method, always it will be like a virtual pointer will be there. A virtual pointer will be there, such as a next on a result set object. You just imagine in the form of a table that consists of So table that consists of the multiple attributes. Among the multiple attributes, you can process any sort of attributes, and if you have two attributes, you must know what is the data type of each of these attributes before it is processed. And this virtual pointer that refers to each of the rows, that is a rs dot next, which refers to the next row in the virtual table as a part of the result set object. And before doing this code, before writing this code, you must know what is the data type of the first attribute and what is the data type of the second attribute, and so on. And if you are writing, if the first attribute is a get, if the first attribute is of type integer, then you should write it as rs, that is your result set object, rs dot get int of 1. So 1 means that is a first attribute, and 2 indicates the second attribute. And in the virtual table, as a part of the result set object, won't start the indexing with a 0. It starts with 1 only. Suppose what happens if I interchange these values. Rs dot get string of 1 I will do, which means you are trying to parse the value of the first column in the form of a string, but actually it is an integer, which leads to the invalid type conversion. Invalid type conversion, and it throws the exception for such cases. And further, rs dot get string. Of course, we are trying to get the string from the second attribute for the first row. For first iteration of this while loop, first row data, second row data, third row data, and so on up to nth data. So this is how the execution of the query is done. Next, closing the connection. What exactly happens when you close the connection? The set of activities will be done like this. When you close the connection, object statement and result set object will be closed automatically. So if you take an order of your communication with the JDBC process, that is loading the JDBC driver, then creating a connection, then once the connection is ready, and creating a statement object, and then executing a query and getting the result set object. And after that, among these, the statement object that is created as well as the result set object that is returned by the DBMS. So both will be closed automatically when you run the close method on a connection interface. I mean, connection reference variable, whatever you have, we can use that, and it is used for closing the connection. So syntax of the close method is public void, it won't return anything, and it throws the SQL exception. So pond.close. So once you close this, your result set object won't be available, even though you have before it is before the connection is closed, and also statement object closed here. Yeah. Next, with respect to the statement, there are three types of statement objects are there. One is for the statement objects, you have three types of library functions in order to execute the queries. The one is execute query, execute update, and execute. Okay, fine. At least a statement object we can complete in this particular session. As I told, this statement object has three different types of library functions in order to execute the queries. One is execute query. For select kind of queries, we can use this, and for execute update query, execute update library functions, which is used for the insert. This is for the database operations. If your query consists of insert, update, delete, or any data definition language uh, instructions of your DBMS, so you must use the execute update method with the statement object we have. So using statement object only, you can call either of this, either execute query or execute update or execute. So if your query consists of these such type of clauses or statements of your DBMS, then you can use the execute update. And execute, it can be used for any type of query which is made it as a general or generic. It can be used for all the projects. And what this execute update and execute query does. Of course, execute a library functions which takes a query to be executed. It returns a boolean value if it is true. If a result set object, if any data is there a part of the result set object, then it returns a boolean value true. Otherwise, it returns a false. If it is a true, and if you have any more data of that result set object, you can keep iterating using the while loop what we illustrated before. So usually it will be used for SQL DDL statement, data definition language statements, and also it can be used for the select kind of queries also. So coming to the execute update. So in case of execute update, what we discussed, either insert or update or delete. So for these three types of operations, you must use execute update, which means among the existing table, how many rows you are updating or how many rows you are making the changes over there. So either you can add the new row or you can delete the existing rows in the table of a database, and either you can make the changes to the a couple of values of the existing table. So among the existing rows, how many rows got affected by the execute update method? So always the execute update method returns the number of rows affected by the execution statement of the execute statement. So this is what the description of the execute update. Next, followed by execute query, which is mainly it is used for the select query, which returns a result set object. If the data is there in the as a part of the result set object, and your value result set object will become a true, otherwise it becomes a false. You can use a virtual pointer in order to move to the respective rows and a column. So what we discussed in the previous slide. So querying a database. So as mentioned, the statement interface provides these three types of execute statements or SQL statements: execute query, execute update, and execute. As we already told, DDL data definition language means it can be a create table or a drop table. So of course it is a repetition of the content of what we discussed. Couple of examples: how can I make use of the create statement method and execute things here. So once you have a statement object can be obtained by making a call to the create statement method over the connection con.create statement, which is the statement object STMT. Using this statement object, to either we can use the execute query or execute update or execute. And in case of a execute query, which uses a select kind of category queries, which returns the result set object. Whereas in case of execute update, which uses a statement, usually be it will be a insert, delete, or update. How many rows are updated in the table? So that will be written as an outcome of this library functions executed with the database process. And number of rows got affected will be returned, and that is stored in an integer number as a count. And execute, which returns a true or false. If the query gets executed successfully, which returns true, otherwise it returns false. So how do we query the database is by writing the couple of select statement. If you look at this example, I have a statement object, statement dot execute query of select a comma b comma c. These are the attributes. Select the attribute a, attribute b, and attribute c from the table with the name table2. And as the query what you are written, which consists of a select query, of course the outcome of this expression statement dot execute query always will be a result set object. This result set object will have a virtual table where you can use the pointers in order to access the rows and the columns. Remember, the column names are numbered starting from 1. That is very, very important. and we can process each of the rows and columns. So query in a database, to create statement, execute query of select name comma vertical from student. The meaning of this statement is, these are a couple of examples that I'm trying to use to explain the concept. Execute query of select name comma vertical. Name comma vertical, these are the attributes of your DBMS table, and what is the name of the table is, which is a student. And we are accessing all the rows of the attribute name and vertical from the table called student. That is the meaning of it. And of course, connection.create statement of statement.execute update of delete from student where id is equal to 1000, which means I'm just trying to delete all the rows where the ID value is 1000. Of course, most of the time IDs will be unique, and that row will be returned. I mean, that row will be deleted, which means the return value of execute update method will be a 1, which means one row deleted. So that one value will be stored in a variable called row count. If 10 rows are deleted, and the value 10 will be stored in a variable called row count. So let us look at this programming example. In this programming example, what we are doing, I am trying to create a table, create table student underscore TBL with these attributes. Attribute names are ID of a student, that is a number of width 10, and name varchar2 of width 40, and age number of size 3. And always most of the JDBC related programs will have this, that is java.sql.star. You must import, because many of your library functions throws the SQL exception. So you should have a complete SQL package in order to have access to these library functions, and as well as also to handle the exception. Now define a class called Oracle connection, write a main method. As we discussed before, class is a built-in class. ccaps dot for name is a static method. Oracle JDBC driver dot Oracle driver. This string is defined by the DBMS product developer, which is nothing but a driver class. So load the driver class or register the driver class, and after that create a connection. Driver manager is a built-in class, and try to access the one of the static method called get connection. So driver manager dot get connection of. So always your get connection method has a 3 arguments. The first argument is URL, second argument is the username of the database, and the third argument will be a password of it. So the first one is a URL, protocol, sub protocol, then a nature of the driver, where it is located, port number, and type of the driver, whether it is Oracle driver or a Express Edition driver, and the username of it is Scott, and the password is a tiger. So once you register the JDBC driver and create the connection, you should have a statement object now. So for the connection, what you have dedicated here. So connection con dot create statement. The statement object is created and returned, and that is stored in a variable called stnt, is a reference variable to the statement object there. And after that, you have to execute the queries like this. Statement dot execute query of select star from student underscore table, which is it should access the number, then name, sorry, ID, then followed by name, and followed by a age. So all the rows will be fetched and will be stored in the form of a result set object. This result set object is which consists of a virtual table where you can navigate to each of the rows, and you can navigate to each of the columns. So execute query of select star from student underscore TBL, and we'll get a result set object also. So now we can iterate through this virtual table that is a part of the result set object like this. While rs.next system.out.println of rs.getInt of 1, getInt of 2, and getInt of 3. So in this table, what we have created, number varchar2 number varchar2 and a number. Here number means integer, get int of 1, that is the first attribute. Second attribute is a string, so you should use rs.get string of 2, that is the second attribute, and rs.get int of 3. And in order to convert to the appropriate data values, and you try to print these values. And of course you can it is not compulsory that you should follow this order. You can write rs.get string of 2 first, then followed by the rs.get int of 1. Any order is absolutely fine while processing the results. Of course it depends on the how you are going to present the data. And after that you can close the connection, close. And once you make a call to the close method, which closes the result set object, whatever the result set object you obtained from the DBMS won't be available now, and also the statement object will be closed here onwards for this situation once you execute the close connection. And altogether, usually this class.forName method, no, it returns the class not found exception, and here onwards SQL exceptions will be generated. So instead of mentioning the separate blocks as a exception handler for each of the statement, which is a very tedious task, instead of that, what we'll do is we'll try to make a common exception handler, that is a exception E. This exception class E, which is a super class of all the built-in exception handlers or built-in exception classes defined over there, and you can print the description of this method like this. So this is, as I told, there are three types of statements: statement, prepared statement, and the callable statement. Among that, we have finished the one that is a statement object. Statement object will have three library functions in order to execute the queries. One is execute, execute query, and execute update. So execute query, it is for running the select kind of queries. Then execute update, when you are inserting a new row or deleting or you are updating any value over there, then you can use the execute update method, which returns the number of rows affected over there. Then execute is, which can be used for either of the case, and it's quite generic function over there. Next, a prepared statement object, what are its features and what are the programming examples we can give. All these things we will discuss in the next session. So here I am concluding the fourth session on the JDBC, Java database connectivity, and we'll continue with the other aspects of the JDBC process, that is a prepared statement, that we'll see in the next session. Thank you so much.